Good. Okay. Well, welcome. I'd like to call to order the Selectmen's Meeting of Monday, October 7th, 2024. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Public input. Nope, seeing none. We have approval of the minutes from last week to go over. I have reviewed, made a couple corrections earlier, but they've been since corrected.
I'll make a motion.
Well, I have to
Yeah.
abstain.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
As written.
as
I'll
written.
second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And we have non-public minutes from September 23rd. Those appear to be in order.
I'll make a motion that we approve the non-public minutes.
I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. Appointments. Town clerk. 2025 budget.
Thank you.
Come
Do you
on
all
up.
have a copy of that?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, I have a copy of this.
Wait a minute. It's in my book, right? That you just made for me?
Yep, paper clip section is what we'll be doing tonight, so. That you just moved out.
Forty-one,
40.
4140. Gotcha.
So next year, can't wait. We only have the town election and town meeting. I'm so excited. So all of our election costs are down. Because of that, the only increases I have are salary line items, which is the COLA, and I did put in a step increase for the deputy and myself. I did not do one this past year, and I would like to request one for this year.
So I'm still seeing on the supervisor's line a doubling.
Yes, the supervisors,
2023, you're at
Mhm.
$552 actually spent.
right,
And you think you're gonna spend twice that?
we do, because there's a new state law which now requires the supervisors to meet every 90 days, which previously was not there.
Is that an unfunded mandate?
It's, yeah,
Sure
the
feels
state,
like
state requires it, but,
Who's paying for it?
well, talk to your, state legislatures.
Good luck with that.
But, yeah, so they used to have to
The
just.
brain dead Cordelli or the brain dead Petterman?
I'm sorry, what? I'm gonna show respect for
Sorry.
my
I thought you could
legislature.
say anything in politics these days.
So, that is why the supervisor's line is up, because instead of meeting just twice before an election, they now do have to meet every 90 days. So that's their hours and that.
Maybe I'm seeing something wrong. I see your line is about half of.
It's half of what it is for this
Yeah, but you
year,
look back
for
to
2024.
Because we have 3 elections. In
Yeah.
23 is a similar year
Yeah.
with only 2 elections.
This year it's much higher because of the number of elections that we have.
Okay.
So, so that pretty much is what drives this year's costs.
So you're basing the salaries on our, what we voted
That is on
last
your
week?
your cost of living, and then I did put in a step. So based on the pay grade and the steps.
Okay.
Sorry, Jen, you mentioned it probably. Town
Mhm.
clerk expenses, pretty
Town-
much flat.
They're pretty much flat. I always put a cushion in there just in case of printers. In case something happens and we need to replace them, because we have 3 printers in there. We have 2 for the state. DMV
Yep.
printing, and then we also have the regular vital statistics and
Okay.
all that. So we probably won't spend it, as we probably won't spend this year's, but I always just have a little cushion in there just in case of
Okay.
that's the biggest cost that we would have.
Well, your overall budget
Mm-hmm.
is down $2,000 from last year.
Yep,
That's a trend we don't see often.
I know, because the elections.
Yep.
All right, I'll make a motion, we approve, budget 4140 election registration for $103,612.68.
A second for discussion. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor? Okay,
Thank you.
wonderful.
The one other thing I do have, there is a RSA, don't worry, it doesn't cost us any money, that we have to post the warrant for the polling places at our office here, basically saying you are required or you're notified to meet at the school for the election. And it does need to be signed by the selectmen, so
Is that for this
that's for this
election?
presidential election, yes. So typically they send it for the primary, they don't send it for the general election. So there's 2 signatures, one that says that you have signed this and one that says that we are posting it here
So we
today.
need to make a motion.
You can, do you
I'll
want to
make
say
a
that?
motion that we sign the required forms for the election notification.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And you'll post it, right?
And then I'll post it, yes, but we just need to have,
We're
Your
signing at the
signatures.
signing time.
you can sign it then, just Audrey
No.
can leave it for me if that.
Okay.
Just ask.
And that's all I had for you, gentlemen. Oh, I'm sorry, it does require 2 signatures, so there's another, the next line down is basically saying that we've posted it.
Oh, sorry, didn't catch
That's
that.
okay.
I'll send it back.
Send it back. I know, I had to look at the last few, I was like, this is interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful rest of your meeting.
Thanks.
Did we vote on Parks and Rec last week?
No,
No.
I don't have it yet.
All right, just asking.
Jump right into code officer. Hi, Jack.
How we doing?
Good, how are you?
All right. So monthly report: 138 building permits, 40 new homes. I've done 40 COs this year and 665 inspections so far. Almost 100 more than last month.
Wow.
God.
Good place. And your budget.
You have a copy of it?
I
assume?
do.
So the 2 increases. One is the truck. It's gonna need tires and wheels next year and brakes.
How many miles on the truck now?
58,000, somewhere around there. 57 something, 58. Yeah.
Got a few more years into it.
Yeah. As long as the transmission holds up. Has one of those really bad GM transmissions that they're doing nothing about, so see what happens. And then office supplies up a little bit because I gotta get a new printer in.
What's
It's
the
a
budget about?
code change, so I gotta get some books.
Hmm?
What's the budget number?
4240.
Thanks.
The salary increase is that, that's COLA?
That's COLA, yeah.
Did you do a step increase last year?
I don't have any steps left. They never
It's
changed
done.
they
We
never
had to talk
changed
about
my,
that.
they didn't change my category. They were gonna do it last year, but they never did it, so.
4240.
Hmm.
Oh, there it is.
Supplies doing up a couple $100.
Yeah, it's good. You gotta get books and stuff because the code changed and they don't give those things away.
So what's your step in?
I think I'm 15 or 17, I forget now. I'm at the top of the,
It's 15
Yeah.
by 17, so 4296.
right.
Say that again?
Grade 15, no, pay grade 15, step 17, no,
The
step.
other way around, 17 and 15.
Grade 15,
No,
grade 17, step 15.
4159.
Are you
4296.
looking at the 2025 one?
No, 2024. That's where he is right now.
Right, but the budget's based on 2025.
2025.
Because he's been at that top, he's been at 15 for a while.
So that's his
Okay.
3%.
Right.
And um,
What is it, 15-1?
17, 15.
17, 15.
If you were to bring him up to 1911, grade 19, step 11.
yeah, I think that the problem with, and I think the problem with going with that,
Yeah,
you're at 4296 right now, is that only gives you 4 steps till you're going
Right.
through this again. 6.
when you retired, Jeff,
So I'm gonna say
4
No, he's working forever.
4 years.
I like to work,
21.
so I don't know. Something about me.
21, step 7. That would be my recommendation, that's $1.61 an hour increase in pay. But that gives us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You'll be all done by then.
Him and I both.
But I don't think we can not give him some kind of step program.
No, absolutely, that needs to be adjusted, but, we, we agreed on 3% COLA, right? Was it 3
This
or 3?
already encompasses the 3%
Right, we
COLA.
did,
Mm-hmm.
3.3,
Right.
and then a step is normally 2% over that, which would be about 43.81.
Well, fine. Right, but I'm at 44.57.
I know,
Okay.
take advantage while the Grinch is not
I'm more than happy to entertain alternatives.
Well, what you're proposing is slightly less than 1%.
How do you
Right.
figure that?
I did I divided 4296 by 4457,
What did you get?
0.9638, just under 1%.
Yeah, that's a little over one, it's 1.4. Yeah. Plus the 3 is, we're getting close to inflation here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I don't understand
What do we base it
that.
on? 35 hours a week?
All right with
Yes.
that.
Shall I make a motion? Or does David wanna continue to work on this?
I'm just doing figures and math myself.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh, wait.
understand Bob's math either. I didn't,
I took 4296,
okay.
the highest step from the 2025
Yeah,
chart, divided it by 4457, which is what Chip is proposing. And I came up with 0.9638.
0.9 is almost 10%, right?
No. 10% would be $4.50. It's not, it's only $1.61.
Oh,
Wait,
not,
Right.
not just under 1%. I'm sorry. It's 3 and 3.62%.
Was it 44.57?
Yeah, 44.57.
But he hasn't gotten a step for a really long time, right? It's my understanding, I don't know.
Couple years, couple, 3
Couple
years.
years.
Yeah, it's been at the top for a while, so just,
I got 3.7%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said 3.6 something.
Oh, did you? I thought I heard 1 point
I
something.
did earlier, and I corrected myself.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know, Audrey's promoting the idea that we need to go further. What do you think?
So with 3% COLA,
Yeah,
and you're proposing a 3.6% step,
that's what I have proposed, I mean, I'm willing to modify my proposal.
how many years has it been since you've got a step increase?
a step,
Yep.
3, I think. Cause been at the top, they just keep going with the COLA cause it keeps increasing, so they don't bump it down, cause it's, yeah.
So we don't get to cut his pay,
I don't want to cut his pay.
alright?
But if he hasn't had a step increase in 3 years, I'm quite all right with your proposal.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had a review?
What was that?
I'll
I
make
think
a
when
motion
Chip
that
was,
we
I think when Chip was
Jay-
selectman before.
change the
Seriously.
salary for the code enforcement officer to reflect a grade 21, step 7, $44.57.
Sorry, can I ask for a quick second more, please?
Sure.
Sorry.
Did I
I'll second for discussion.
jump the shark here?
No. I'm just something didn't feel right, so I'm just checking my math. 4159. So we're going to 44.57. Okay, Town prepared. Sorry, I had to do the math on my own. So,
Motion's been made.
I will second that motion.
I already seconded it.
Oh, no.
The motion was to change his step and grade to grade 21, step 7,
Mm-hmm.
which is $44.57.
Yep.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
So
you.
I'll update the budget sheet then and approve, wanna approve the budget and
So
update
you
the budget
wanna-
in the next one.
It's either that or change the number.
Well,
Yeah.
we
Now.
could-
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Then I can get it to the budget committee.
Yep.
These, I should probably know this already. These rate raises going to be effective January 1st? They're gonna be retro? Or are they gonna be as soon as the budget passes?
Right, that's how it works, is that they get paid on the old rate until the budget passes, it's town meeting and then they get retroactive.
Okay. So that's, 10 months? You gotta figure 10 months at that rate?
No, it's all year, it's retroactive. You get it back to the first, but you don't get it until March.
Right, you get paid in March for.
So it is retro
Sorry.
back to January 1st,
I'm
okay.
sorry, I wasn't.
I didn't hear that in what you just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the new budget number would be 81,117.40 for
Right.
salary. Is that what you've got?
Mhm.
What was it? Sorry.
81,117.4.
And how does that change the bottom line, David?
It's written there.
Well,
I'd have to do the math.
Okay.
So,
It's about a little under.
88,517.
How many hours a week do you do?
35.
You do 35.
1820 a year. So it comes to 88,517.40, but I think you can take 40 cents off his tires.
Yeah.
$81,117.40, but now you got to include
That's on my personnel sheet when I get quotes for that.
the following numbers, the attached numbers. Okay, we haven't gotten there yet.
No,
Okay.
don't have any numbers yet from Paul.
All right. 80.
I'll be retiring, on to retirement and stuff.
So it's a difference of 29.30, which should mean that if we add that to the bottom line, now becomes 88,517.40 for the bottom line.
Yep.
The whole budget?
Yep.
Yes.
8,
517.
5, 17, 40.
Yes, if you're counting the 40,
The
which I
40
couldn't-
comes off.
Can we
Yeah.
lose?
40 comes
40
off.
comes
Take the
off.
40, they can take the 40 off of both.
Yeah.
You can have the 40 cents.
88,517.
I'll move budget 4240 to reflect $88,517.48.
Can we lose the penny?
40
No sense.
No
No
sense.
No cents?
No
No
sense.
$88,517
I'll
and no
second.
cents. Motion's been made, seconded. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So wherever the 48 cents was sitting, just take it off of there.
Well, it ends up in the salary, so we always rounded before. So
Take an extra buck on your crackers and stuff.
then I'll put a bill in for the town. So. Thank you
Before
very-
that goes, can we discuss the police station RFP, because as I was modifying
Yes.
the chairman's paperwork, I was under the assumption that we're gonna issue like 6 RFPs, one for each of the
Trades?
trades, thank you. But the one you gave me was for a general manager.
Mm-hmm. A general contractor.
General contract. That's what we're trying to do first.
Yeah.
And then they would RFP the rest out?
And they
Yes.
would get their own, use their own subs or whatever, yeah, but it's not a construction manager, it's a general contractor, so they actually do work.
Okay, I've done the RFP, but I
That's
was
okay.
under confusion there.
It's the best way to go right now.
Okay, thanks. Just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. I obviously wasn't.
I'm
Okay.
curious as to why.
It's a lot less headache in the beginning, cause you're not micromanaging every single construction trade out of there, and you can get general contractors that aren't, managers like we had before, which is, $150,000 just to manage the
Just to
paperwork,
manage.
and then they have other people do all the work. The general contractor's gonna actually do a lot of it in-house. They might have their own plumbers, electricians already, they could have their own excavation equipment, they could get 90% of it done under one roof,
Gotcha.
so. And then if you have them that don't have certain people, then if they can't get anybody, then you can go RFP just for maybe mechanical.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So that being said, have you read the RFP?
No?
I'll give it to him in the morning.
We gonna vote on this thing to get this thing going out now? What do you
I can go make copies and stuff.
What do you think? Yeah, would you, I'd really like to
I
get
mean,
this
have
ball
you
rolling.
talked to him about it, between the three of you? I'm just
Between the
curious.
three of us?
Yeah, about the RFP or not?
We haven't seen a copy of it yet.
Okay.
We've seen,
I-
I was just curious if you've already seen it and you agree to it, I'll look at it tomorrow and then,
I wrote it, sent it out, and then, just waiting for everybody to
okay.
give their final input.
Sorry, so.
So if we don't vote on it today, that's fine. I mean, but we should at least talk about it and,
yeah, I say we vote on it. I mean, another 2 weeks is another 2 weeks.
I
Yes.
know,
Right.
I'd really like to.
Need a quick reminder, I did read it originally, but I could use a quick refresher,
Could you make a couple of quick copies?
please. Thank you.
It's not a big RFP, it's only page and 2 pages.
Yeah.
It gets right to the point. We're gonna advertise it, but I would like to direct solicit, some reputable contractors in town.
Do a general contractor
Mm-hmm.
RFP, which is what I'm hearing we're doing.
Yep,
And Jack's gonna inspect,
I'll inspect and be clerk,
and then,
and there'll be a couple
Alba's
third
gonna
party
come down
inspections,
and
but.
make sure it's built to spec.
Who?
Alba Architects.
fail.
Yeah, Phil, yeah. And there'll be a couple third parties in there for a little bit of concrete and a couple structures,
Right.
that'll be about it, yeah.
That sounds fair.
If we can keep it at a local level, I think this is easily manageable. And of course, what we get in for quotes will really determine
Whether you use the grant or not,
whether we have to use the grant or not, exactly.
and then if the grant's used, then it's
It's a whole
some-
different
some
subject.
paperwork.
I think
You might want someone just part-time for the paperwork for the grant,
a clerk of the works, so to speak.
for just to manage the grant in-house type thing, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
you've seen them,
Mm-hmm.
they're,
Yeah, cause you can't expect to throw that on the contractor and have an aggressive pricing, cause they have.
no, cause they're gonna push it out to the subs, and the subs are gonna, no, I don't wanna do it,
No,
so they're gonna be gone, yeah,
and then we won't get any bids.
right, exactly, they'll be back. to
And we're
the-
right
yeah,
back to square one,
Yeah.
exactly.
that's why I wanted to stay away from that thing.
Yeah.
Keep it at arm's length.
Take one and pass them down.
Thanks.
It's just like school.
It's like church. why would we want that language? The town reserves the right to cancel this request for a proposal for any reason without any liability to any proponent or I'm not sure that works, and to waive irregularities at their own discretion. Why would we need to reserve the right to cancel? Canceling the proposal just means we're not gonna go forward. I understand having the right to cancel once we've awarded
Mhm.
due to irregularities or whatever you wanna do there, contract, but it just, walk me through it, Bob.
It's probably language that may not be necessary,
Mhm.
but I don't think it does any harm to be in there.
It's CYA more than anything else.
Exactly. There could be an unknown variable that none of us have even thought of why we
Right.
couldn't do this. And just for having something that's unknown that leads us to cancel the project either before or after any contract is signed, it leaves us, that statement leaves us not liable for any payment to anybody. We reserve the right to cancel it. If we do, sorry.
Doesn't the last sentence kind of do the same thing, cause you can reject any and all bids for any reason, so.
No, that's just for the bid wise, it's not for the town.
Did I take it out of the middle of the text?
Let's see what-
Yeah,
And put it at the end?
at the end.
Okay.
Or include it on that line with rejecting all bids. Yeah. Yeah, cause you've done it again on the next page where you're not giving any compensation. Any compensation of any kind whatsoever as a result of participating in this RFP.
Right, yeah.
Put them all together.
It's not a paid estimate, so to speak.
Mhm. That's why I sent it out,
Yeah.
for input.
It's 12 months, pretty reasonable, Jack?
For this, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nothing special.
Good.
Unless there's a shortage of materials again or something like that, but other than that, no, it's,
And I think it's important to have some kind of a timeline in there.
oh, definitely, you gotta have them work to something.
Yep.
But a year
Cause
is
it'll,
reasonable.
year is
reasonable
reasonable,
ask.
yeah, I should be done before that, but if you don't put thing in there, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
fall
sure.
back upon job fill in, you know,
Yep.
you don't want that.
So, do they, is the typical, order of operations such that they come in, look at the
Prints
prints,
and all the specs to
And
go with
then-
those, yeah.
and then
They could get a package from Phil PDF form,
oh, that's right,
Yeah.
that's right.
Which is what we had Phil do last time we met.
right,
Right.
Break it up so that whoever takes this can distribute
to
to
their subs, yeah,
subcontractors.
Yeah.
and they'll come back to us and say, I have a sub for all this except for, you know, and then
Right.
you can push that out somewhere else, so.
Mhm.
We could very easily get a general contractor that we wanna use that'll do everything but the plumbing and electrical.
Right,
Well, I'm sure that we can hire a plumber and electrician,
yeah,
and this doesn't prevent us from doing that.
right.
But it allows for the general contractor, if they have their own subs, to do so.
If they put a whole
Absolutely.
package together, they can do it, yeah, if they put a package together with eliminating two,
That would be ideal,
yeah.
because
I mean,
then,
there's a few specialties in here, you know, in the package, you know, 'cause it's a police thing, so, but
Right.
not necessarily they can't get their own, go out, you know, and get their own subs, but maybe they don't wanna deal with certain things. So, some ballistics part of it and stuff like that, so. But other than that, it's a glorified commercial house.
Mm. But there are some, what did you call it, ballistics?
Yeah, there's a little bit of ballistics in it.
So on the
There's a-
project schedule, can we add after project shall be started upon mutually agreed start date, comma, and mutually agreed payment schedule?
I think that would work, that would come in the contract.
Right.
When we actually sit down and sign a contract with a vendor, I think that wording could be in that contract. This is a request for a proposal.
Correct. This is for someone to come in and look at it.
Right, but we have to mutually agree on a start date, so that's after the award anyway. Or are we gonna mutually agree with all of them?
Well, you're gonna put an RFP back in by a certain date, but I didn't even notice. There is not one of those, so you might want that. An RFP return date by, there's nothing in there.
Well, only because we hadn't,
Right, you haven't voted on it yet, so you could, what is it, today's the,
I thought the December
10th.
sixth, sorry, yeah, December
Yeah,
tenth.
it says shall be received by December tenth.
Yeah.
is it,
Then your next scheduled meeting will be December
16th.
16th.
oh yeah, there it is, December 16th.
So I'll highlight those.
Bold them or something, yeah. You can also duplicate it in the proposal submittal information.
Yeah, I mean, that's
looked right over it,
Okay.
yeah. you-
that's good. All the more that we should get this
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'll do those modifications and pass by Jack tomorrow and.
I'll look at a list tomorrow,
Can
put a
we,
list together tomorrow,
I'll
who I
make a
can think
motion
of
to
for
approve
direct.
this request for proposal
Any modifications you wanna include in your,
with modifications.
the ones that we just talked about?
Right.
I'll second. Any
Did
further?
you yea or nay the one for the agreed upon pay schedule?
I don't think it's necessary. I think it's gonna happen in the contract
Yeah,
when we
they're
hire
gonna-
somebody.
They're gonna say when they want their payments, they're gonna have the schedule, so.
Yeah.
Alright,
That'll be negotiated at the contract.
So primarily the change was to move that sentence about,
town reserves the right.
Reserves the right to cancel, yeah,
Right
put
to
it back in
cancel.
with the last
to the
paragraph,
last of it.
Yeah,
yeah. And just move the RP date more bold or
Yeah.
somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeehaw. Get
Thank
this
you, Audrey.
going.
Alright, so,
Thank you.
like I said, I'll work on the list tomorrow, people I can think of in the area that I think are qualified to do it, so.
Yeah.
And then where's it going to go? The RFP, you're gonna,
I'll put it on our website, on NHMA and on
NHMA,
the paper.
Yeah,
in the paper,
definitely
yeah.
put it in the Granite State News, put it in the Carroll County Independent.
Yeah. And just tell them, yeah. Carroll County wanna put it different places.
Okay.
That's probably the other thing for now. We don't wanna go too far away,
No,
cause you're just gonna get a lot
no, there's a handful of general
Yeah.
contractors in town.
that'll look at that.
Yep. Definitely be interested.
Let's hope.
We're gonna make sure that I get it. And on the Facebook page too,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, all that. Excellent. Thank you, Jack.
thank you.
Alright, next was Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec isn't gonna be here tonight. Following that was Transfer Station. Transfer Station Superintendent's not gonna be here tonight. So the next is, let's see, we have a non-public that we need to do, but I'd like to put the non-public at the very end. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, it does, cause he's scheduled for 5:30 and it's an applicant coming in to meet you.
And it's an applicant, alright.
So in 20 minutes, you can do quite a bit.
Okay, alright, so we're gonna table the non-public for now. Consent calendar,
Is that here?
that should be in here, yes.
So,
Yeah. You,
And I also always you a copy of the list that's on the front of?
Yeah, I think I saw the
Yeah.
electronic
I have that in
versions.
here too.
I think Tammy added one more thing today to it.
On this week's consent calendar, which you both have reviewed, we have an administrative abatement from map 59-2-9, a lien discharge for 59 Dame Road, map 44-2-1.
I just wanna expand on that we did get the money for that to pay off the general assistance.
Excellent,
Okay, so
excellent.
that's been deposited.
The response to the New Hampshire DOT consenting to the signage that they're proposing over the Melving River on Sodom Road and County Road, and those are just weight limit signs. Municipality land use change tax bill for map of 4637, Normie's Pond Revocable Trust. Personnel action form, I'm not going to mention any names, but there are 3 personnel action forms
Mm-hmm.
that we're going to be dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
One of these personnel action forms we need to do in non-public, so I'm going to move that.
The
I'm gonna,
third one?
yep, the third one. I'm going to include that in the non-public. So aside from the third personnel action form, I would entertain a motion
To sign?
to sign the contents of the consent calendar.
I'll second
I'll make the motion.
that.
Motion's
Yeah.
been
That's,
motion's been seconded and made.
thank you, kind sir.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Action items.
That was the police station request, yeah, we did it,
Did that. All right.
we're ahead of it.
Correspondence. Let's see. In the correspondence folder, we have the State of New Hampshire Board of Tax and Land Appeals final order, which I believe we discussed last week.
Can you give me the highlight?
This was the change in
The letter from BTLA?
the letter from BTLA
Yeah.
and the change of status of why
Well,
am I?
taking it out of current use. It
Thank
was
you.
the
I couldn't come up with
fourth
current use.
Fourth item on your consent calendar.
Yes, taking
That's why I brought it.
taking a small amount of property out of current use.
Mm-hmm. Is that the building footprint?
Yeah, and the space under the power line is on.
We also have a DES award letter from the Clean Water Revolving Loan Fund for the Mirror Lake work that was on the warrant article, $100,000 loan.
Mm-hmm.
That's been granted. A hazard mitigation grant award letter for the Curtis Road culvert replacement. A letter from the Town of Molten Borough Land Use Department, public hearing, October 16th, 2024. They're proposing a
Tower.
cell tower, yeah. An anonymous letter from the Farm Pond community regarding dissolving their HOA. The only reason that they sent that to us is because the Farm Pond HOA wants to donate their fire pond to the town of Tuftonboro, which they have to work out, and then we'll have to have a public hearing and all that. But they're
Well,
just
they can't really, it's an anonymous letter, which I have a problem with anyway, but
Mhm.
they can't dissolve their homeowners association without doing something with the commonly owned property.
right, which is the fire pond.
I don't know if that's all of it, but the fire pond's included in that commonly
Yeah.
owned property.
Did we already take over the road? Do you remember, or is that are or are they still maintaining the road? Cause that'd be part of it too.
I think they're still maintaining the road. We'll have to double check, we may have taken it over.
I know that there's been discussion, but,
How long of a road is that we'd be taking on?
oh, I don't know.
And then what is it? What class is it? Do you know?
Well, it's class 5, but it's, just goes up to the cul-de-sac at the end, and then they have a little side street,
Right,
that has a cul-de-sac at the end.
Mhm.
I can't imagine it's more than a couple thousand feet.
yeah, it's more a factor of privacy. The developments keep their roads private, so the general public doesn't use it as a place to go drinking or other activities.
Right, but we have not been asked to take over anything yet, formally.
Right.
There's just been
I can't
hearsay.
really take over the pond, yeah, we need,
It's all hearsay.
yeah, it's all that.
A lot more needs to be done before we ever did that.
Well, they need to do a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, even if we take over the pond, I don't know why we would take over the pond, but if we did, we're taking it from the homeowners association. So whatever assets the homeowners association have to be taken care of somehow.
That could get muddy.
That's not
It's
our problem.
It's already money, but it's, as Dave said, it's not really.
It's not our problem.
It's not our problem, I know. Until they make it ours.
Well, I mean, if they decide to deal with the road or the farm pond, then that's another matter, but
Mm-hmm.
not right now, it isn't.
It doesn't really change the status of the pond. I have a fire pond on my property. It's not like it's a divisible item, it just is. It's a fire pond, that's all it is.
It's a hunk of real
So
property.
it's not like they're getting taxed on it, it doesn't matter, I think.
No, but even if they asked us to take it over, that's a financial responsibility that we'd be
Right,
taking
no,
on. We
generally
have to
the
maintain the
landowner-
fire pond.
Right. No, the landowner maintains his fire pond, or a fire pond. I mean, the benefit to the landowner is a lower insurance rate,
Mm-hmm.
if it's close enough, it's whatever, but, so there are benefits in order to the landowner, there's really no benefit to the town.
Right. Correct.
So, I don't believe
Again, future consideration.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
I'm not even,
No reason to go there yet.
kinda, pretty much. Got other fish to fry.
Yeah.
From the farm pond? Probably not.
And a couple selectmen's meetings ago, Johnny Burgess from Supernova came to see us about talking about solar and EV charging stations, and apparently that his funding fell through, so that's
A
non-issue. And we have Tufton Borough Free Library, September 2024 financial report. That's all. Town administrator and selectmen's updates.
I'm moving faster than I thought tonight. Paul Whalen came in last week and he's offering the town a nickel less on propane next year, and they were the low bidder last year. I would like to accept his proposal for a propane cost of $1.44 a gallon for the upcoming year.
Hmm.
Because I believe the policy says that if you've had a vendor that you're happy with, who's been providing good service, then you don't have to put it out to bid right away every year.
So, would it be a new agreement, or would we be extending our existing agreement with modified rate?
What's the operative difference?
Whether we have to go out to bid or not, a new contract, I would think that it would have to go out to bid.
Or you could modify the dates on it.
Or we can extend an existing agreement without going out to bid.
Right, you're extending an existing.
Yeah, sounds like it.
There's your operative words.
Based on preferred pricing.
Yes.
And quality of service.
If the price had gone up, I think we'd be going out to bid.
Yeah, we'd have to.
But the price has gone down all over. So, I mean, yes, he is offering a lower rate. However, chances are if you were to shop out, you would find a lower rate anyway. That's all
Across the board.
across the board.
Right.
Because propane prices have been dropping.
And
Last year we had 2 bids and they were one of them.
yeah, and they won
And
it,
they were the low.
and they were the low bid. So they won by competitive bid.
Right.
I'm not opposed. I'm just saying that,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah,
just as a general
right.
understanding, the prices are dropping. So the fact that he incorporated a lower price should be expected, really.
Right.
If the service is adequate, then I say we just move forward with it.
I'll make a motion that we extend our current agreement with them with the price modification indicated in their offer.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So that's gonna affect the heating lines on a number of our budgets. So we should
That's
make sure that the end user knows whether it's the fire department or transfer station.
I think the fire department's our biggest propane user.
Yeah.
Right. I told the
The transfer station has propane tanks, but I think that's for the generator. I don't think they heat with oil.
Right.
Right.
So I think the fire
5 cents
department's our
on-
biggest user.
5 cents on $1.40. That's what, maybe 2.5%, 2.25%, 2.5% decrease. So just throwing numbers out.
Then you also have to plan on how cold it is.
Well, and that's just it. And you,
You
don't
don't
know what
know.
the temperature's going to be. If it's colder,
But
which is
hopefully it at least
I
stays
don't know.
flat
I
for the
would-
town.
yeah,
And-
no, I mean, it,
Yeah.
And highway garage
Yeah.
heats with
Yeah.
propane.
Well, we haven't gotten to those budgets yet, but just make sure that the department heads know the price.
Yeah, okay.
Cause I know the fire department is underwater on their heat budget, they were, so.
Do you, when they do their budgets, do you give them a 1 year look back?
I give them the 5-year trend of what they've spent by line item, and then if they ask for details, we give it to them.
Okay,
So
because the only way you can't figure out electricity and propane by looking at the budget number. You have to do kilowatt hours, and you have to do gallons of propane, and then adjust your pricing accordingly. At least that's the way I do it when I do it at the county. But they should have a 1 year look back at least
Well,
on
and
gallons.
we can ask for a degree day review from the heating company. They'll tell you how many degree days they serviced,
Mm-hmm.
so,
yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know what this year's gonna.
well, you never know what the weather's gonna be next year.
don't know.
But,
Apparently a lot of rain.
well, it rained today.
When you have warmer winters, it just means more ice, less snow and more ice.
Yeah,
That's always a problem.
I'm all for cold.
Okay, the CIP committee's been meeting weekly. We've done a review of all the fire department requests, and there wasn't a quorum at the last meeting. The transfer station requests were discussed, however, they're not being presented until this week because Chris wasn't available. I did a FEMA informational webinar today. It was rather dry, and I think Chris Morgan's already ahead, and also Chris Fournier were already ahead on the kinds of things they discussed that we can apply for. So I think the town's in good shape there. One of the awards that was in your correspondence for the culverts, we now have to put that work out to bid. And Chris Fournier was kind enough to send me an example of exactly the wording that has to be in that RFP, so I have to get those out or prepared to get out.
So HEB isn't gonna do the bid process, we have to do that?
No, because they wanna bid on it. They can't do the bid process if they bid. So it's a catch-22, it's conflict of interest kind of thing, they can't.
I don't know how they can,
So,
oops, sorry.
yeah,
I don't
he,
know how they can bid on it, having been the applicant's representative. Oh, whatever. It seems odd.
I'll show you his email and stuff. I've been working with the department heads to get their budget submitted. The police chief's taken the most effort.
Well, it's nice that he's putting in effort.
He is putting effort in. And I've been working with Ashley, getting her up to speed on supporting the budget committee. Rob Royston's coming in this Thursday to meet with the two of us and make sure the budget committee's all set. And they'll have approximately 10 budgets prepared to look at. Their meeting's on Tuesday next week.
Right.
Okay, at 6 p.m.
6, not 6:30.
No,
Correct. They
6.
brought it back.
And we've
A
had
daylight savings effort.
Nah, I think they just figured that they can get out earlier.
Oh no.
Schedule
Schedule.
conflicts. Ah, okay.
and there's been quite a few calls about the roads, and I email those and or text message or catch the road agent as I can.
I went up to Willand and I couldn't discover where a stone wall had been destroyed. So hopefully the road agent went up and took a look.
I did ask
They
him
did a
to.
good drainage job on there. And I think all the work that I saw was well within the right of way, so that's how it works.
So I've had a few general assistance applications I've handed out. We'll see what comes back. Do we consider purchasing firewood assistance for energy, for heat?
God, I don't remember having done that.
I've never heard of that request, so I wasn't quite sure. So some people heat by oil or propane and will give assistance.
Yeah.
These people heat by wood. Will we give assistance?
Wow. If that's their primary heat source, I suppose.
I don't
Yeah, I
see-
suppose we have to go bend with it. I mean, what if they got a pellet stove?
Right?
You can buy pellets commercially.
I don't have a problem with it. It seems to make sense.
If it's their primary heat source, then I think so.
Okay.
It's my humble opinion.
You could easily make a case for it, I think.
Thankfully, I spent all day yesterday stacking wood.
So I talked to Tom at Lakes Region Computer, and he's putting together a plan for future computer replacements, and he's also getting me a new contract for next year. And because all of the computers were replaced in 2019 at the same time, and then we have a server also, you know, servers may be a defunct thing in 5 years from now, but I passed the idea by him, what he thought, like if we were to start an expendable trust fund, because we don't know which computers are gonna go first, and say we did the town clerk's 2 computers, it would leave money there, and you'd accumulate enough little money to not have to ask for money for a server when that bigger expense comes up.
How do they
Or if
determine the
Or if there's a
need
router.
how do they determine the need for a new computer? Like what's their criteria, or ours for that matter?
Well, we just had one of the police dead in the water, just crashed, and they were super responsive. They were great, and I asked him about a computer in here that would have a better.
So we wait until it really goes to the
Yeah.
bed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I asked him to take into account things like they gave me monitors last year, but they don't have a camera on them. So whenever I'm on a Zoom, I don't have a camera.
They
So-
didn't give
They
us
make little-
monitors.
They make little cameras to
Yeah, he's gonna send me one.
clip on the top.
Yeah.
They're about $20.
Yeah,
They didn't give us monitors,
right.
just clarifying.
Semantics.
Okay, I already said
And I
that.
think if we're gonna establish a trust fund, or a expendable trust for computers, then I think we really need to reanimate our conversation about having a budget for IT
Mhm.
and just separate it out of the, different departments and just have an IT budget. Cause there's really no way to dig it out.
And that would be a great conversation because I can't tell always what's paid for.
Yeah.
You know, whose computers come
Well,
out of
I'm
what
sure we
bucket.
bought everything in 2019, but it doesn't age out at exactly the same rate.
Right,
I mean, some of these computers are used more forcefully than others, for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having that discussion in 2019. I have my memory still of saying, can't we just pass computers down, or like Parks and Rec wanted a computer? Well, that's okay, fine, they get that laptop from right here, or wherever else we have one. There are certain departments, the Conservation Commission, Planning Board, any of those places that need computers, they should get a hand-me-down, they shouldn't get a new computer. And I think we need to start getting an IT policy put together with our IT expert here. It just seems logical, that's all.
and I think there's an effort to do that.
I'm sure it's just kind of sub rosa, you need to bring it out into the air
Okay,
and people see it.
I'd be absolutely in favor of a separate IT budget, but does that start taking away from knowing the true costs of running a department? If you start pulling stuff out of the departments into a generalized line?
At some point, we have to, we're a company, if you wanna call us that, and what's the cost of running the company? It's the IT is an element of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're requiring some sort of IT from most of our departments.
And don't
So-
forget, we've also got IT, department-specific software that's running on certain machines. Police department doesn't use the same software that the
Right.
fire department does,
Right.
and tax collector and
Right.
all that.
It's
So
just,
where do you start?
I'm just thinking that, it may be a minor impact in your ability to figure out what it costs to run a fire department, but it's gonna have a major impact on your controlling the cost going forward. Because now you know what you're spending money on, you can age the equipment, you can,
and
Yeah.
frankly, the biggest cost is the annual support agreement, and that's all in one line item.
Mhm.
Yeah,
and we're getting asked for stuff, police formerly were horrific, because they were always asking for more and more and more of this, that, and the other thing. And I have no idea what they're talking about. I think David might have a clue, but we're asked to operate this whole thing, and they'll pull out of their backside a computer request, and we don't have any documentation that backs stuff up. Like, we don't have an IT budget that would say, yeah, well, you're gonna get one in 2027.
In order to do that, though, it needs to be somebody's task to make that,
Right,
do that task and make the
Right.
list or what have you.
Well, that would
And Tom's-
fall on whoever the IT
Tom's doing that.
Tom,
Yeah.
it would fall on the IT
Hire-
director.
you hire that done,
Yeah,
that's part of the
Comes with the
deal.
contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
part of the deal, you supply us with computers, but also a lot more information about our needs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not for this year's discussion anyway, cause we're already in the budget season. We
Right.
need to start talking about it next year.
but it's a good conversation to have.
Well, I think when I bring up the finance and administration budget at the next budget meeting, or next time you all talk budgets, I think we'll expand on it further, because I'll have Tom's spreadsheet, and do we want to take anything out and put it into a warrant article, or so I'll have better numbers for them. Gopher got back to me, and there's a couple policies they don't have. I have a call into her to make sure I understand what she needs specifically, and it's possible I couldn't find it, but I couldn't find like a conflict of interest policy. So I don't know if the town.
A general conflict of interest
Yeah.
policy, it's not in our policy manual there, whatever.
No, not that I could find. I can't find a policy manual here. I have about a dozen of them that I've found either on the website, by searching the word policy, but even
We
like,
we had a 3-ring binder over there in that bookshelf that our policies would happen to have.
I don't know, maybe you can help me
'Cause
find it.
I know we voted on like the $5,000 for putting it out to bid, and there is a
Right,
conflict of interest language in that policy.
oh, okay.
I just don't know where the policy number was.
Oh, I do have that policy, the purchasing. So,
I'll come in
all right.
when I have a spare moment.
I'm taking vacation. I'd like to take vacation. I have my airline ticket already, November 4th to the 13th, which means I will not be here for your meeting at the school during election day.
Are you voting?
Of course.
Okay, as long as you vote.
Wouldn't miss this one.
Who's gonna be there in your stead?
Cami will be.
You're certain of that?
Yes.
Okay.
We already did that. So I have a couple more budgets, but your 5:30 appointments here.
Is that
So
non-public?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes. Yes. Are those a couple of budgets that you want us to do tonight?
I think it would be a good idea.
All right, well, we can come out of non-public and do them.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. We won't do any selectmen's updates right now. In all fairness to our guests, we'll go into non-public. So I'll make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A:3, Section 2A and B, because we have something else to do
Yep.
along
And
with
those-
this.
Or in regard to what? Employment?
Employment, yes. These are, B is for hiring, A is for termination.
Okay. I'll second that motion.
Roll call, Murray, yes?
Dolphin, yes.
I'll be yes.
I'll second.
Motion's been made to come out of non-public and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We ended up with the town administrator's update. We didn't do selectmen's updates. Do we have any updates? Ed?
I just have one more thing that we didn't
okay.
get to. Chip had recommended having a separate meeting to cover some of the budgets, because so our nighttime meetings don't get too long.
Mhm.
So on the 21st, I have fire scheduled. That's your next meeting,
Okay.
and
And they'll be ready.
so do you want, the following week, the following Monday? Does that give you enough time? I can plan like transfer and police to come in, because those are both going to be
What's
long
the-
budgets.
Yeah.
So you want to do it during the day?
On the 5th?
No, I think she's talking the 28th. You talking the 28th?
Yeah, I'd rather, if we can get more done on the 21st, that would be better, because the budget committee is gonna meet on the 29th. So push the system forward a bit. Yeah.
How do we wanna do that then? Do we
If
wanna
we meet
have,
on the 28th with budgets, the budget committee isn't gonna meet for another 2 weeks, well, they're meeting the next night.
so do you think we could have a workshop at, say, 1 o'clock? And then, on the 21st, and then go into regular selectmen's meeting at 4:30? Do like a 3-hour workshop
Yeah, or,
ahead of time? I'm just throwing that out.
yeah, or we could do a afternoon on Friday if you want.
I can't do it on the 21st. I have my, an annual doctor appointment that I can't, cancel because they won't see me again for another 6 months. I have that on the 21st. At 1 o'clock.
And we could
Well,
move,
Dave's the one who has some constraints too.
Yep.
What's that?
You have constraints.
Well, Dave's a working fool like me.
Well, I can take a half day if I need to.
So the 24th.
I could do the day after
25th?
the 22nd.
I can do, but I can do 22nd, 24, or 25. Just the 21st and the 23rd would not be optimal for me.
And
Well,
do you want to do?
we already have a meeting on the 21st.
Yeah.
We have a
we wanted
4:30
to,
selectmen's
I
meeting.
wanted to extend that meeting.
Yeah, but backwards, but I can't because I have that doctor appointment on the
Gotcha.
21st that I can't cancel.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be a whole afternoon. I mean, if you wanted to do a 3 to 5.
Well, my appointments are 1 o'clock in Concord.
No,
So-
not on the 21st.
Oh.
On
Yeah.
the 22nd or 24th.
Yeah, the 23rd's out because I'm getting snow tires. The 22nd is fine, the 24th is fine.
Either one of those is fine with me too.
So it's up to David.
I can do the 22nd or 24th.
Wow.
Why do we do the 22nd at,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
sooner the better.
What time?
3 o'clock.
is that early enough for you?
Yeah,
Is it late enough for you?
I can make that work.
Okay.
I'll make it work.
Okay,
Call my sister.
so the 22nd at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that's gonna lead into a planning board meeting. I have planning board. Wait
Is
a minute,
that planning board?
wait a minute.
The 24th.
That's the 24th. Back up a day.
So
22nd.
You said 22nd at 3
3
p.m.
p.m.
Okay, yeah,
1,500 hours.
that's good. And then they've got 7 days to look at it between that.
What do we
and
do?
29th.
Is it usually 2-3 hours? What are we doing?
3 to 5.
3 to 5? Okay.
Yeah, we'll just make it a regular meeting. If we finish our business early, then we can go home early.
Even just a regular workshop.
Well, we have a limit, she's not gonna make any appointments for us
Yeah.
between 3 and 5.
So I'm gonna be skating in right at 3. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah, no
So we're
worries.
still gonna have a selectmen's meeting at 4:30 on the Monday the 21st.
Correct.
And then Tuesday the 22nd, we're coming in at 3
Yeah.
for budget workshop.
Okay, so we didn't eliminate the 21st.
No,
Correct.
Okay,
Because that's going to be fire. Fire takes some time. And then I'll have a few others by then too. I'll
so
have
what's the purpose of the 22nd?
police and transfer station, 2 other big ones.
They're gonna-
Knock out the big ones in 2 days, basically.
Yeah,
they're gonna
do
be-
one of them at a selectmen's meeting and then the rest at a workshop.
yeah.
Okay.
Are the workshops public?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just when we get big federal checks that we go non-public so nobody knows.
It's that bank account in the Bahamas that you gotta watch out for.
I'm watching that hurricane, I'll tell you. Should have not bought in the Bahamas in the first place.
Alright, selectmen's updates.
I went to obviously you've heard about me visiting here, but I did go to a Hillary Trust meeting on Tuesday last week. Thursday last week. And we did distribute $38,000 worth of monies to charitable organizations and scholarships. So I urge local students to apply at the, guidance office at Kingswood or Brewster, both of those schools we give money to, so. We're gonna have to get more money next year.
And if, are they targeted for any particular purpose?
Higher education, pretty much.
Okay, good.
So, did that, came in here, I did go down to Willand Road to check on a complaint about a stone wall that I couldn't find. And that's about it.
Is that because it was knocked over, so you couldn't find it?
I couldn't find the disturbance. So it could very well have been a very good job knocking the stone wall over.
Right.
But it's always colored with the notion that I think they just got their betterment tax bill, didn't they?
I don't know, probably.
I think so, yeah. So that usually elicits response from
Mhm.
some members of that population.
The only update I had was Johnny and the solar, so you already had that, so.
Yep, same. Yeah, I haven't attended any meetings since our last selectmen's meeting either, so.
I didn't
Good
understand
here.
the business plan there. I guess nobody else did.
No, don't have to worry about it now. Any other business?
9.
All right, well then I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have some things